Hello and welcome back. 2 weeks ago I finished the frame for the cockpit, and as you can see the frame is still there, which is a good sign. And also there is my new longitudinal girder for the cabin section, and we have just very slight deformation going on here where the scarfing is, but the scarfing is stable and good, and the wood is not bent at all. The wood oil worked. So next up will be I will assembling the planes, and then I will cut this girder to length and fix it to one point at the frame over there and at this wobbly stuff. Alright, the starboard longitudinal cockpit, cabin girder is now in place. The knees are left, and I think I screwed a little bit up with this one here. This is really not the best, but we'll see. Next thing I want to do to secure the longitudinal girder and to give it some strength is to work with those leftover GRP knees here. I did not remove them while removing the interior of the ship, because they will do good work transferring forces to the hull, because they're rigidly attached. So what I want to figure out right now is a way to connect with like a traverse frame member from here to here, and the same goes over there, and then I will do this like with normal knees in the required length that I calculated. Alright, the first traverse frame section is basically finished. As you can see, I fitted a small piece of timber between this and the original knee, and it is pretty stable. It doesn't move an inch, and it already lends some stability to the whole frame. Even this wobbly thing is a bit more stable right now. So what I will do now is attach some more knees here and here and continue. Two girders are thrown into shape and treated with wood oil. In roughly 20 minutes this oil is dried, and I will put them there and over there, basically like here where I drew the number 2 onto the wood. This length here is more than 50 centimeters, but close enough to not worry about stability, and this one is less than 50 centimeters, so I think with like 4 girders I'd be perfectly right, which is roughly around the same thing as in the cockpit, which was a bit less than 2 meters, but here I have a bit more than 2 meters, but it will be alright, hopefully. All girders are in place, and there are basically 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 girders that lend stability to the longitudinal girder here. And the stability is, you can see it a little bit moving here. I'm applying almost half of my body weight. Okay, this is quite impressive, and as always, all those different parts get the initial stability when the complete frame is finished. The final, not the initial stability. This is a wonderful time for a break, and then I will basically do the same thing on the port side. There are the 3 individual pieces for the longitudinal girder for the port side. In roughly 10 minutes the oil is dried, or it's like soaked up into the wood, and I will give it a small wipe with an old piece of t-shirt, and then it is ready to be scarfed together. and then I am able to put it here similar to here. Alright, the port side longitudinal girder for the cabin section is fitted into place. The scarfing is working fine, but I broke my drill right on the last screw hole, so I think I do not do any scarfings for the near future, but I think I don't need to. Yes, I need to, but if I do the roof, which is basically next up after placing traverse girders kind of in the same way as they were on the starboard side. Let's go. The port side, the cabin frame is finished. The only thing missing are the knees, but already the structure has comparable rigidity with the structure on the other side. Here beneath, right at the knees, I can exert almost half my body weight until a movement over here is detected. The structure will be much more stable after the fitting of the cabin roof frame. I have approximately a few hours of, like 2 hours of sunshine left, and I think what I want to do is to start construct said cabin rooftop frame. So the roof, just the roof frame. So basically what I want to do is to measure my height to basically approximate the cabin's ceiling height, that I can comfortably sit next to it, and maybe have some like headroom. I won't build it the way that I can stand upright, because that would basically be too high, but a comfortable sitting position might be possible. Alright, the measurement from my hip to the top of my head is basically 90 centimeters. Oh, this is upside down, sorry. 90 centimeters. This is, well, the dirt is basically where the old bench was attached. Or here it was attached, but here it laid basically on the hull, creating all this dirt. From here to here there is roughly 50 centimeters. So by simple subtraction of numbers, there is 40 centimeters left to have a ceiling height. This is exactly the height of my head, but just the head is not enough to feel more comfortable and to have actually some headroom. I will add 10 centimeters to that, so we have 50 centimeters for... Ooh, there's a spider in my hair. Okay. So I add 50 centimeters of for the roof frame. Oh, my scale is getting getting loose. Oh, wait a minute. 50 centimeters. So. 40, 50 here. So the frame will be 50 centimeters high here, and I will take the next extension for the frame over here, which also has 50 centimeters, and of course a traverse girder between that. The interesting stuff is that the old roof was bent, like curved on the top, because water shall flow down when it's raining on it, or water from the sea is coming up because the weather's rough, or I did something very stupid. So I will do this like an extra, but I will build the frame at first like this box shape, Oh, with some party over there. Box shape, because this will be much more stable initially, and the curvature will be added later. Let's start this. I figured with the frame now rigid enough, I could basically show you how I trim the wood to the right dimension. I just clamped my phone to the frame. This is how confident I am. Beautiful. Smooth and beautiful. In 10 minutes this will be soaked up into the wood, and I will wipe it with old t-shirts again. Guess what's missing? Alright. So this is the third drill that died today. I take this as a clear sign to leave it for now. I just want to attach this for the last sewing on this, but yeah, the drill died. Oh, that's so sad. Alright, I will clean up a little bit and then I head home and I will see where I can get a new drill. Tomorrow is Sunday. Sunday is no fun because there will no construction shop open. Shit. And hello again. 2 days ago I fitted the port side and the starboard side of the cabin frame, and I want to continue with constructing the roof frame. As you remember, I have already prepared two of the stanchions. Well, they have fallen down, and the traverse girder for the front of the cabin. I did not do anything on Sunday, but I bought a new set of drills. Where are they? There's my lamp. This will be in handy later. Another. Here they are. Wooden drills for, like, I think every type of screw I need. And I bought my small cordless drill. and I think maybe this one is a little bit more gentle than the large one somewhere over there. Especially to the smaller drill bits, and they have a bit adapter inside. I want to show you this. Ow, ow! Boats are dangerous. Let's get this open somehow. Wow! See this? Boat's moving. Someone is on the water. I can't get this open with one hand. Now it's open. So the drills have some normal bit adapter pieces on the end, and this will make the changing of the different sizes much easier. Oh, the shaking of the boat is killing me. It's not much, but the small movements are actually harder to compute in your brain. Okay, anyways, let's go. Apparently I was mistaken. The smaller cordless drill is much rougher than the larger one, interestingly enough, because the torque setting here is much finer, and the first setting applies less force than the first setting on the small drill. Interesting. So anyways, the scarfing is finished and it looks quite good. I will smooth it down a little bit with the one-handed plane. You see here there are some cracks in the wood. This is not good, but it will go with the grain, and so I have a few nuts to hold it here. It's not a very nice scarfing when I see it from here, but anyways, let's have a breakfast and then continue. Alright, first part of the roof frame is finished, and the only thing I want to do right now is just place a stanchion between here and here, because it would be roughly 50 centimeters where all traverse girders and stanchions had to have the minimum distance. Wow, I screwed up the grammar there. The stanchion is placed, and now I want to take care of the other side. And by the way, it came to my mind that it might be beneficial to have a slight slope on the roof towards the front. It's not really aerodynamic, but I mean, my boat is not that fast. But imagine wind from forward is already having a hard time over this 50 centimeter kind of roof. It might be beneficial to have something to get more aerodynamic towards the cockpit. So I think I will add 2 centimeters onto the roof there. And also I'm gonna add the companionway. Alright, the roof frame section to the cockpit is finished with a nice... I almost fell over my 2 last pieces of timber. Anyways, with a nice large companionway opening. I think in the when I'm finished it will be a little bit smaller, because there will be mechanisms to make this sufficiently watertight that will eat some space, but I will see how this going down when the problem is at hand. So this is the side of the cockpit and this is the front, and now I will continue to build the longitudinal section of the roof frame. Arachnophobia trigger warning. I found a very interesting spider. Ooh, so interesting. Oh, and here is its little brother. I spooked it, and it hides like this, like in a stick form. Wow, cool. Alright, anyways, here's my drink. And here is the raw and planed sections for the longitudinal roof. Oh. Alright, wait a second, I almost finished. Okay, they're all looking good. There is one particular one which is damaged. Where is it? Oh, here, this one. Alright, so as you can see, the edge is like kind of a little bit of sap. Oh, I should have warned you, like inappropriate behavior trigger warning, I don't know. So my plan was to basically use this as basically the scarfing, the first scarfing, and just cut away this with a sapwood here and introduce the first scarfing to the longitudinal girders. The two longitudinal girders are scarfed together and properly treated with oil. Now I have to see if they fit over here on the tent structure. Port side longitudinal roof girder is in place, and well, it's still a bit wobbly because there's no knee down there, but this will be next up. Alright. The starboard side girder is also fitted, but I want to leave it for now because I'm pretty tired and it's getting dark. And this is my last piece of timber, so for the next steps I definitely need some new materials. I'm totally exhausted. That's why. I bought this new timber, and it took me like 3 hours to get it here because it's so heavy. Anyways, I won't do any work today. The thunderstorms last week basically put half a bucket of water in my boat. I removed it already. Now I will get this timber in the barn and some of the mysterious stuff over there, what I'll show you later what's going on with that. Alright, it's... Oh, there is someone demanding their crew. Alright, I am back at my boat, and I had basically I'm at full strength now because I had not towed boatloads of timber to my boat. So what I want to do at first is basically fitting some knees where they are still missing, because as you can see the frame got a little bit wobbly over time. Maybe it bumped over there and had some minor distortion, but it is overall in good shape. So this is what I want to do first. Three knees are fitted, much more stable now. The fourth knee is still missing. I had to prepare a new piece of timber for that. The oil will dry a little bit on that, and I will think I'll make a break. All the knees are fitted. Basically each corner of the roof frame now has a knee, and it is already really stable. I mean, I won't overdo it, but it's alright. Next up is basically finally some wind. Wow. Next up is basically building the stanchions. Like with the cockpit frame, you probably just see this over there because the stuff is over there. Every 50 centimeters will be one stanchion, and I will basically roughly count out how much I need, and then how many I need, and then I will basically build some of those out of this last piece of my old timber. The stanchions are cut to shape and treated with oil. Now the stanchion for the roof frame is are fixed in place, and I don't know if I really need knees for that, because it's extraordinarily stable. I need maybe some knees over here. But this one is almost scary. Wow. As you can see, I scarfed together two pieces of timber that were roughly 1 meter at length, and it has already a very slight curvature. You see this here, although it is in the wrong direction. But what I want to do with this is basically bend it a little further to make the first deck beam for the roof. So as you recall from like literally a month ago, that my roof was a little bit curved too, and I had one piece that I did not throw away, and this will be basically my negative, like my example of how I want to build the other stuff. Now I drew the curvature of a little larger piece of timber. Alright, quick change of plans. I think I don't want to do this today. Not because I'm... okay, multiple reasons why not. The curvature itself is, as you can see, not as large as the beam would be, because I have to basically span 1 meter and 30 centimeters. What this is like 1 meter and 50, so 20, so 10 centimeters are missing. Secondly, to basically steam bend this timber, I take basically the smallest diameter, which is roughly 2 centimeters, so roughly an inch, and this would take me an hour to steam, and actually it's so late, and then I have to get like going and pack the stuff, so no, I do this tomorrow. See you then. Alright, as promised, the other day on my boat, here is the old stuff from the old construction, and I have already put the curvature I drew yesterday, but see this? It's shaking. It's not fun. Okay, what I want to do now is basically take my jigsaw, this one, and saw this curvature here roughly out of this piece of timber. Then I will cut it straight, and then I will see how to proceed. Alright, the cut went very good. I used like one of those metal pieces as a guiding system for the circular saw. And as you can see, ouch, the cut is much more straight, so the subsequent timbers I will cut from this will be straight and not as curved as this one. You see, this is really curved. But anyways, let's proceed. Alright, let's build a steam bending contraption out of this. Okay, water is starting to heat up, and as someone famous said, sorry, if you have duct tape, you have no problems, or something like that. I don't know. So here's the steam bag, and oh, I'm really, that's tense. Any second. Haha. All right. That seemed to work better. Let's wait. This is really awesome. And I have to credit Louis Society from Tips from a Shipwreck for that. Because without him, honestly, I wouldn't have any idea what to do. And from time to time looking at his videos and what he does is inspiration for me too. So if you really want to know where most of my knowledge come from, then I suggest the almost 100-year-old book, Wooden Shipbuilding, and his YouTube channel. And of course, I mean, there are lots of YouTube channel people building boat, but this is the one I found, and this is the one I drew the most inspiration from. So steam bending timber in the back, credits go to Louis. Thank you, Louis. Right, so roughly half an hour of steaming is gone, and I was able with relative mild amount of force to bend this into the shape. I will continue steaming it for, I think, another half an hour to be sure anything will be basically heated up, because the heat and the moisture is basically making the lignin in the wood a little bit more flexible. And then I will just switch off the heating and let it cool down, and it hopefully will not spring back into its old form. We will see. That did not work. It sprang back into its original form almost immediately. Just a small dent over here, nothing more. Then my butane gat basically was empty, and I had to use another cartridge. But now it's steaming, and we will see. Haha. Okay, scarfing and then steam bending is shit, so I will basically cut some more and steam bend them first and then scarf them. Alright, I quickly made another piece of timber, like 3 by 2.5 centimeters, and what I want to do now is basically just steam bend this one and then another one, and see if I can basically scarf together it in the right dimension. Apparently one cartridge only lasts approximately 2 hours. That's not very efficient. Anyways, I think I will bend this, and then I will look for an alternative. Alright, so it looks quite good, and it's basically cooled down, but I am not that sure, because if I reduce the tension, it does this. Yeah, it's basically not quite finished. On the other hand, over here, I mean, this piece of timber was not really good to begin with, but you see here is already a dent, which is not that good. There's a weak point in the grain. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Actually, I contemplating the idea doing basically a curved and a straight cut to have a curved roof with like the required stability. I don't know. I have to contemplate this. Change of plans. Alright. This whole scarfing didn't work. So, no, not the scarfing, not the steam bending. Totally out of my mind. The steam bending didn't work. The first one broke. Where is it? Somewhere over there. There. Broke. And the second one basically sprang back into its more or less original shape. It's just a very small curvature, and that's too less. I want more. Although, and I don't have. Okay. And I don't have a structure on which I could basically force the curvature onto the bend wood. So what I want to do is basically do it more or less like this, just different, like with a with maybe. Okay, maybe I go home. No. No, what I want to do basically is just first start with normal normal stiffness from here to here, and then just pop like here, like this one, and just put something onto it which has all the curvature of the original piece. Where is it? Here. So basically has a curvature like kind of like this. This is the plan. Let's see. Something like this. Maybe this is the way it will work. So I didn't attach it because it still needs some treatment with oil, and yeah, I think this will be good. It looks, oh, looks nice, but to be honest, I'm not convinced if this is so stable. This here, for example, is kind of, oh, yeah. See, that's what I meant. It's basically coming off on its own. Not good. That's much better. It's a bit wobbly, but this thing is wobbly, so. No, I'm really not convinced. I think I should rather saw this out of a, not really like a continuous piece of timber, but basically two with a scarfing in the middle. I don't know. I don't really know. Meh. I disassembled it because I have a better idea. My idea in the moment is to build the first traverse girder, which is basically sawn out, curved out of a solid piece of timber, maybe this one, from here to here. And then I will construct a longitudinal girder from the middle right through there, where like the other curved girder will be. Hopefully this works, I don't know. It's not much, but this will be all for today. I cleaned it a little bit. But overall I think this will be the method to go. Build a kind of normal traverse girder on the roof, and then some curved pieces of timber upon it. But this will be next up. Next. Bye bye.